Grand Rising fam. It is Sunday morning about 10 o'clock and it's March the 29th, 2020. And this morning I'm going to get ready to do some container gardening so I can put my carrots, beets, and root crops. We're going to do root crops this morning. I'm going to show you how I prepare my containers and I'll show you that. And once again, Grand Rising, and I always wake up each morning with a clear conscience and clean hands. So let's get dirty. All right. All right. This is a container I'll be using, and I'm going to modify it some. These are what they call. You get them at on farms, different farms, cattle deals or something like that. So go to your local cattle person, your local farmer or rancher, and ask Mr. Jones or Mr. Jackson for a couple of these. I'm quite sure if he's not using them or she, uh, they will let you have them. All right, I got several of these here on my homestead. So I'll show you how I prepare it using these. First of all, now this one's cracked, but don't worry about that. You could use that for drainage, but what I'm going to suggest you guys do, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut, I'm going to cut a circle or a square, don't matter, for drainage, not only for drainage, so that I'm going to take, and I'll show you how it looks when I get done with it here. I got my honey. I got my hot honey lime tea that I made the other day from my dehydrated limes and honey and all my turmeric and all my ingredients. I got that to help start the day. All right. Okay, now I'm taking my jigsaw and just roughly cutting around, just kind of eyeballing it there, y'all, and roughly cutting. Leave about 2 or 3 inches, couple inches around, and that's for rigidness, basically. So it won't be so flimsy if you cut all the way to the edges. Maybe about a 2 or 3 inch. You don't have to measure or anything. Just kind of go around it and cut that circle out. Okay, now that the circle's out, you see what I got here. It's just rough, so don't laugh at my carpentry skills. I'm a carpenter, but today I'm just doing gardening. You see what I got it here? See how I got it? Look. See? And the reason I'm doing it like this is so when I get ready to put it where I'm going to put it in my, in my garden, in my yard here, I'll fill the bottom part up with some mulch that I have down under the hill. I'll come bring it up. All this mud in here. I'll wash that out. It'll get muddy anyway. And not a good camera angle. Anyway, but I'll take that and I'll clean the spot out. I'll scrape it out and all the grass and dig down probably an inch or two. Just kind of scrape the soil, get that grass out of the place that I'm going to put it. Then I'll fill it with mulch, probably about this high, maybe 6 inches or so. We'll say about 6 inches or so. And then I'll fill the rest of it up with my organic and compost soil. And then that way when I do my root plants like carrots, they can grow 6, 8 inches down, something like that. I don't know exactly how tall this is. Looks like it's probably about 16 inches tall or something like that. But then you can grow radishes. Now with your radishes, you don't have to have that much soil in it, but you can judge however much you need. But fill the mulch up to wherever the like beets are like my fist. So you have about 6 inches of soil for your beets, but you'll be safe to have like this much soil all the way around. All right, I'll show you what I got. And another reason that I cut my hole like I do and scrape it like I do, so the earthworms can get up in there from the earth. Remember my concept of 360, always staying connected. That applies to these containers also. I see some people will drill holes in the bottom for drains, and if you want to do that, that's fine. But I want to catch as much of Mother Nature's goodness as possible, and that adds for a good drainage too, because like I said, you have a layer of mulch in here. All right. Okay, fam, so this is where I had my raised beds from last season. Well, this season I'm going to replace this. It's sort of a border, living border fence. But this year I'm going to replace all those square raised foot beds. Raised beds, square foot raised beds with the containers. I'm in my backyard here, so and I'll put these in another place and plant, you know, tomatoes or other crops in those. But this will be a whole row of these. All right, now I'm here at my mulch pile. It's done decomposed for the most part. It's been sitting here for a year or two, a couple years. So and I'll clean all the grass and stuff out of it. But here's my mulch pile here, and you know there's worms around here somewhere. See that mulch? I'm gonna take and put in my container. And I saw some worms. But anyway, let me get to work. All right, y'all, see these worms? They're small, but their mamas and daddies in there somewhere too. They crawl away fast. But see there? There's some worms in there. I'm gonna leave them in there. Get them started in their new home. All right. Okay, fam. Now that you've got your spot cleaned out, kind of leveled out a little bit, it's time to place your container where you're gonna have it, and that's my mulch that I just got a while ago. And so now you see you got the naked ground there. That way the worms can come up through and you stay connected to the earth. Once again, 360, I always stay connected to the earth. And so I'll put my mulch in here and we'll measure from the top down. Okay, fam, now that I've measured the container, it is 17 inches tall. All right, and so I'm gonna put carrots in this one. So I'm gonna allow 10 inches of my topsoil, because the carrots will grow from 6 to 8 inches, something like that. So I just kindly put a little mark right here. So that means I'm gonna have from here down is what I'm gonna put this mulch in, and that'll be good for drainage. So you know, and kind of a filler also. It's kind of a little bit like a hugelkultur. Anyway, if you heard of hugelkultur, but anyway, just you can check that out online. But like I said, 17 inches. So I'm putting 7 inches of mulch. And then the rest of it with my soil, my composted soil that you see me dealing with in my boat. And then I'll plant my carrot seeds from there. And it varies. If you're going to do beets or radishes, you know, naturally you don't need that much. So you can fill it as high as possible with your filler. And I would suggest with beets, probably about 5 inches or so of topsoil, and radishes, 4 inches, 4 or 5 inches, something like that. And so you can just do the math and just leave that, you know, 5 inches on top for your beets and about 4 or 5 inches for your radishes. But for carrots and things like that, I allow myself about 10 inches of topsoil, of soil, organic soil. All right, thanks. Okay, now that I've got my 7 inches of mulch in there, you can still see my little mark right here. 7 inches of mulch in here, kind of level it out. See my little pretty wormy worm? See? He's going to help things out. Anyway, so, and now I got 10 inches, and this is for carrots now. Hey, and when you're doing potatoes, you can do potatoes like this too, but with the potatoes, you can start them, you can just put you a couple of inches of just mulch down there, and then start your beds, and just kind of build up from there. So, well, actually, you don't even need any mulch. Just put a little bit of mulch and then start your layering. Well, you know, there's some information on that too. Okay, fam, now I'm back in my compost bin, my boat here, that I'm gonna get ready to strain for my container. Okay, strain my organic soil for my container. I'll strain it with this 1/2-inch mesh, and I'll strain it directly into the wheelbarrow. Get it up to, you know, like I said, 10 inches worth of material, soil. And so I'll do this right now. All right, once you get in your strainer, you see the wheelbarrows underneath it. Just kind of strain it through there, work it through, you know, just like that. And it's a little damp, but it'll all go through there. Just kind of work. I got my gloves on. Just kind of working through that mesh, and you can see underneath here. Well, let me lift this up. It's starting to accumulate. And we'll get it, and that's what I'm going to use to plant my seeds in. All right, and I'll put a little bit of my fertilizer mix in there, a little bit to mix it in, so it'll have a great start. All right. Okay, fam, now that I've got my organic compost soil strained with this 1/2-inch mesh strainer, I'm just going to get just a little bit, probably like, look, this much right here. That's very little. and I'm just gonna sprinkle this in here. That's enough fertilizer to fertilize for my carrots. And I'm gonna put it in my container. Okay fam, now that I got my wheelbarrow emptied out and I got my bin, I got my container filled. I got it about an inch or so down, and of course I got it loosely. I didn't pack it or anything. I'm not gonna pack it. It'll settle down itself. And see how pretty that is. And I'm gonna put carrots, just only carrots. I got several seeds and several varieties, and I'm just gonna probably just mix them up and put them down in there. So actually I'm working with probably about maybe 9 inches of soil, of topsoil. I got 7 inches of mulch at the bottom here, and about 9 inches, and that's good enough. You know, carrots grow 6 to 8 inches long. This will be plenty, and to do the carrots. Okay, fam, here are some of the carrot seeds that I'll be planting. That's from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange. That's a good group. It's an organic group. I'm gonna be planting different ones in here. So, all right, just try to get some carrots planted in the ground. How I'm gonna do this, y'all? I'm gonna just make me a little with my finger. Make me a little row here, about every couple of inches apart. I want to get it full. You know, carrots, they'll be about an inch or so in diameter, so you don't want to get them too close, and they'll grow. See, see, I'm just making like little rows. Utilize every inch of your space. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 rows. So that'll kind of give you an idea of how many rows to put in your deal here. And I think this thing's probably around 24 inches around, something like that. All right. Okay, you probably won't be able to see these, but I'm just kind of sprinkling them a little bit. It's supposed to be a couple inches apart, but what the heck? I'm just sprinkling just a few, okay? Well, a lot more. See, these seeds are just like little bitty. I don't know if a mustard seed got anything on this. Oh yeah. Okay, now that I got them all into my little rows, I just dug out a little bit, and I'm just gonna cover them up, slightly cover them up. They don't need to be deep at all, not even ½ inch, quarter inch, something like that. But by the time you water them, and I got different varieties here, and I'm gonna mix all these together. So whenever I plant, you just, whatever you get, that's what you get. Whatever carrot you get, that's what you get. Now, we're done. And my soil is pretty moist. But when you water them, well, I'll show you how I'm going to water them. Okay, fam, I'm getting ready to water with this, my deal here. My battery was down, so I had to hook it up to my solar panel. And to get a little juice, look like it's kind of charging up a little bit. I got 12.7 volts coming in. All right, and this is my solar panel. Y'all remember that from my boat. So I'm just gonna draw some water out of these deals here and water my garden with. Okay, so now we'll water it. I'm just gonna draw water from this. I caught some water in this cooler, some rainwater. I'm gonna just use that and run it through my pump and run it through this 25-foot hose, and with a setting on my end here, I'm gonna water it. But I could fill this, but I don't like to use rainwater. I want to reserve this for fresh water, for potable type water. So my tank is empty, my water tank, and that's for other purposes. So that's why I'm just using the pump as a flow through. Now let me go ahead and turn it on. And I got it on flat. You don't want it too hard. See how it's just kind of sprinkling in there. It's not too much pressure on it, and everything. So I just water it real good. You don't want to water it so much pressure on it. So see, I'm kind of away from it some, and I'm giving it a good soaking. A good soaking. And of course, I got the mulch in the bottom, so it'll drain really well all the way to the bottom there, where it's in contact with the earth. Okay, so just give it a good watering. Don't overwater it though. but just give it a good watering, and just it'll absorb that pretty quickly too. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right there. All right. And see, that will cause it to, cause the soil to settle a little bit, and it'll absorb all that water. So don't worry about it standing there. It won't be there like that for very long. A few minutes, and the seeds are watered. Everything is ready to go, and I'll keep you guys posted on this. And I'm gonna do several like this. I'm gonna do one for, like I said, for carrot. Like this one's for carrots. I'll do beets, any of your root crops, fam. Any of your root crops. So you can do beets, carrots, radishes. They grow quickly, so you can have your bed. You do this as a one-time deal, y'all. You do this once. Take the time and do it once, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And as time goes on, the bottom mulch, it will decompose, and it'll be soil just like this in a few months. And you see this mud, gumbo mud, toilet mud. You see it stick on your feet, your feet. But that's why it's hard to till this mud, especially when it's been raining like this. And people who wants to do rows, this is another advantage of raised beds and container gardening. You don't have to worry about tilling. All right, and we'll see you here when things start sprouting and popping up. All right, love you guys. Bye bye.